Hello, class. It's Thanksgiving week, but time for a lightning lecture, as I think I'm going to dub these now, because I'm trying to give you a very short video supplementing your learnings without giving you a full lecture, trying to just squeeze it in a few minutes here. Okay, so this week we're talking about customer service and we're talking about crises preparation. Whoa, two really big important topics in the digital space. Okay, make sure you read chapters 10 and 11. I put slides in the module for you guys. The slides have a link to three pretty good, really short, it's not even 2 pages, quick case studies of crisis management done well-ish by a few companies in recent years. So take a look at that in addition to reading the book and following the slides. Okay, so customer service. Here's the gist. It's 24/7, okay? We're living in the digital era. Customers are tweeting, they're commenting, they're posting all the time if they're dissatisfied with something. So it's on all the time. It's not like the days of the call center where they could only call during certain hours to get help. They will find a way to get help constantly, and they're doing it, right? I'm sure you guys have experienced some form of customer service situation, and it's not just during 9 to 5 business hours. So customer service is 24/7. You need to be prepared to handle it with the correct amount of staffing. Your listening tools will also help with this as well. At my work, we actually use Sprinkler for our social media, and we do have customer service agents, because I shadow them regularly, that answer customer inquiries coming in through social media through the Sprinkler tool that we have connected to our social media. Okay, so customer service is 24/7. It's critical to respond timely. So unfortunately, that means responding 24/7. So make sure that you're staffed up, you're checking regularly, and you're addressing customer needs as soon as possible, because otherwise word of mouth will start to happen and you'll start to get negative backlash and you'll lose loyalty, because customers will move on to your competitor within seconds. So make sure that you are monitoring your social media channels for customer complaints, customer questions, issues. And even if they're coming in through the website, through a contact us form, you need to answer them as quickly as possible, because that's the era we live in of instant gratification and immediate service. Okay, so moving on to crises. Crises is a tough one. I'm sure you guys have all experienced or heard of crises in terms of like data breaches, the BP oil spill of the mid-2000s, the United Airlines situation where the gentleman was dragged off the plane. So crises can occur for any reason, anytime, anyway, anyhow, and they can't be anticipated, right? But what can we anticipate? How to handle a crisis. So we do not want to wait until a crisis occurs to put together a plan for dealing with a crisis. That's the wrong time to put together a plan. In the marketing department, which is closely, or maybe even in the same department as, closely tied to the communications department, the public relations folks, you need to put together a plan and list all of the known issues throughout the organization that could potentially spark some sort of negative impact or crises. Now, what does that mean? That means maybe you know that your product, the IKEA dresser, I don't know if you guys remember the IKEA dressers tipping over, and all of the bad press that IKEA got for these dressers tipping over and falling on children. So, maybe IKEA knew that those dressers needed to be mounted to the wall and that was a potential issue. And unfortunately, it was an extremely tragic crisis that occurred from those dressers falling over. So my point is, as a business, get together with key stakeholders, HR, legal, business unit leaders, product managers, anybody who might know of any potential issues, and make a list of them. That's going to be the first part of your plan. Then you're going to put together keywords, key strings, so that you know what to prepare for in terms of search terms and things like that people use for your business. You'll already have those anyway for digital marketing campaigns, most likely. You're going to put together a baseline of information, right? What is your current share of voice, your current share of audience? What is all of the baseline information on a good non-crisis day? So that way, when a crisis hits, you can determine the impacts. What is the current sentiment? Obviously, if a crisis hits, sentiment's probably going to switch to negative. So make sure you read through all of the components of putting together a solid plan, because having a solid plan in place helps if a crisis hits, because when it hits, everybody's frenzied, everybody's freaking out and doesn't know exactly what to do. And the plan will help folks know what to do. Make sure it's easily accessible by everybody within the department. It's not password protected or anything, so folks can get access to it, and make sure to pull it out and start following it. When a crisis hits, you'll probably be sitting in what's called like a war room and doing close monitoring of the situation, giving like hourly updates to senior leadership. You'll need to do an executive summary of the situation, where it broke, how it broke, what happened. You're going to want to know your influencers in advance so that you can reach out to them to potentially help negate any of this bad conversation going on about the crises. Perhaps they can say things on your behalf to negate any negative press that's going on. Let's see, I'm rushing so much. I'm trying not to leave anything out, and I'm doing this shooting from the hip without notes. So, I was saying there'll be a war room, and you'll be monitoring, sending hourly updates. You may, the war room lasts as long as the crisis lasts, right? And in the day and age we live in, it's usually not long before another crisis hits in your old news. Good and bad to that, obviously. When you're doing, addressing the crises also, when it's over with, you're going to want to take a step back and reflect post-crises and do a lot of documentation. What happened, a more thorough summary, looking at reports, dashboards, understanding the impact of the crises to your digital ecosystem, what new influencers may have emerged, what influencers actually helped you. Do you need to change the crisis plan that you had in place before the crisis happened? Maybe there was something that wasn't there or accounted for. You're going to want to update your crisis plan regularly anyway, because new known issues could arise. It's really hard to talk about dealing with the crises in just a few minutes, because obviously a crisis is a major thing. So I'm trying my hardest here not to go too long. So anyway, I guess really just read the chapter, because being prepared for crises is extremely important, and helping customers is extremely important in this digital era where they expect 24/7 service. So this week is an extremely valuable section, not that they all aren't, but in terms of like loyalty and keeping customers and your reputation and your brand, lifelines. So make sure to read that. There is an assignment due this weekend. It is basically all about dealing with a crisis. So reading the chapters will help, along with the slides. And basically, if you do that, you should be able to do the assignment successfully. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday. For those of you that celebrate that, please be sure to get your discussions in before midnight Thursday. So you might want to get those in tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'll start engaging with you tomorrow as well. And then assignment due Sunday by midnight. We'll be back on track as of Friday. As always, email me with any questions or concerns, and I will post announcements as I need to share information with you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving.